Welcome to the BEAM&Flow podcast. This is a nitty-gritty exploration of your body, energy, awareness, movement, and flow. I'm your host, Chloe Cofresi, and I am so excited to deep dive into all of the ways you get to create a life that feels like summer camp. This podcast is about exploring that possibility in your body, in your awareness, in your energetic exchanges, in your finances, in your relationships. We are looking at how to have a life that feels like summer camp. So buckle up, baby. ¡Vamos! Buen día, familia. Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year. I am recording this on New Year's Day. And so I am in white pajamas, very little makeup on, just enough so I don't look completely washed out on camera. But yeah, I am committed to putting these out on our normal schedule. And so today was the day that I had set to record. And while normally on New Year's Day, I don't want to do anything, I'm resting all day, I knew that I needed to get this done. So I started thinking, okay, how can I make this a fun experience so that I am bringing the energy that I want to gift to my audience and have that exchange with you? And a couple of ideas came to me. So first off, ever since I was a little girl, my mother and I would spend New Year's Day in our pajamas doing nothing all day. That was our tradition. We don't leave the house. We don't do anything. We stay in our pajamas and that's it. And recently, the last couple of years, I've been wearing white New Year's Eve and New Year's Day to energetically be in a state of cleansed energy, right? As I start the new year. So I was like, well, I have white pajamas, so I'll stay in my white pajamas and I won't do much with this. And we'll set it up and we'll talk about what's really going on, which is perfect. This is how I know that I'm in alignment with this podcast, because God just works this shit out. Like, I don't even have to worry about it. The topic for today's episode, another solo episode, is energy. It's the E of beam and flow. So last week was body. This week is energy. So it's really perfect that today's episode is about energy, because I was in a position to negotiate how to best use my energy and support my energy in creating this episode today. So energy is infinite. Our body's capacity to produce and maintain energy in this 3D world is limited. So while I'm not saying that we have unlimited amount of energy, because that's not true. Energy is infinite. God is energy. So it's infinite. These bodies have a finite processing ability. And so we can only process so much energy in a given day at a given time. And our energy within this sacred vessel is divine. It's a sacred gift that we are giving to ourselves and to the world. So how do we engage with it? How do we best use it? And if you've been rocking with BEAM&Flow for a minute, you know that as a woman who is still cycling, I really modulate my energy expenditure, and the energy that I take in based on where I am in my cycle. So I am deep in my luteal phase today. I will be starting to bleed in a couple days. And my body wants a New Year's Day. My body wants to just rest. So I chose to do this episode earlier in the day after I had some breakfast, calm. I had a wonderful conversation earlier today. I'm in a great space. And I was like, okay, let's bring the playful energy that I'm feeling in my body into recording the episode. So and then after this, I will be giving myself a face massage, and then that's it for the rest of the day. So I will be honoring my body's need for rest and where I am in my cycle. And I also am honoring my commitment to bring you quality content when I say that I will. So, because the ability of our body to process energy is finite and limited, it's important to know how much energy you're working with in any given moment. So, one way to do this is to start paying attention to when the impulse is in your body to do anything. If it's working on a project, or making some art, or cooking, or taking a nap, or going for a walk, notice when the impulses come. And that's going to tell you when your body is having more processing speed, more processing capability, right? So honor that. When it comes, honor it. And when the pull is to rest, know that that's what your system needs. Your energy needs the downtime, the reset, in order to shine as bright as possible. So energy is infinite. It never goes away. It can change forms, but it never goes away. And energy, frequency, vibration, affects everything around it, right? So to bring this out of the spiritual speak and into the very practical, oh yeah, we've all been there kind of situation. Let's say you are invited to a party. Let's call it a New Year's Eve party, because it was New Year's Eve last night. And you say that you're going to go, but there's some part of you that feels like, I don't know, maybe I should just stay home. But you think, no, I'm going to be social. I'm not going to be a party pooper. I'm going to go. I'm going to have a good time. So you go and you get in and you have a beer, and 15 minutes later, all hell breaks loose. And you realize, I should have listened to that voice that told me to stay home. We've all been there, right? That's your intuition, your inner energy speaking to you, preparing you for what could happen. This dandelion tea is amazing, by the way. If you have not tried it, it's called the Happiness Blend from Anima Mundi Herbals. I'm not even affiliated with them. I would love to be, but it's amazing. Anyway, we've also all experienced energy, other people's energy affecting us, right? Or ours affecting theirs. Let's say you're at a party, right? And somebody walks into a room and everything shifts. Like there's tension in the air, or maybe there's excitement in the air, but something shifts. What shifted? The energy of the room. Why did that shift? Because a source of energy, a body that had a strong capacity to process energy in that moment came through the room. And so that person's energy was felt and affected everyone in the room. We've all been there, right? We've all experienced that. So if we know that happens, and we've seen it happen, we can see examples of it every day, then it makes sense that we would want to check in with our own energy and ask some questions about like what we need to be shining at our brightest, to have the greatest capacity to to be in this world, to be of service in this world. I know if you're watching this podcast, or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening, you are very likely called to be of service. There's something in you that recognizes that there's more to this life, and you want to be giving more. You want more connection. You want to be plugged in more. You want to have greater impact. There's a reason for that. And I would love to support you in that. And one of the ways that you can be supported in being of service is to check in with your energy. Energy, like I said, it never goes away. It can change direction, it can change consistency, but it never goes away. It can change form, but it's always there. So, if you are unsure about what your inner energy, your frequency, your vibration is saying, communicating to you, how it's guiding you, you can actually ask it. So you can ask your own energy what it's telling you, what it needs. And there are a couple of ways that you can do this. One way is called muscle testing. And with muscle testing, there's a few different ways of muscle testing. But I'm going to share my favorite way. I need to stop putting my hands over the mic. I'm going to share my favorite way now. I've done different forms of this. The reason why I'm sharing this one is because to me it is the easiest. It's the last one that I learned, and I wish I had learned it first. And it's pretty effective. So when you are muscle testing or checking in with your energy, the first thing you want to do is connect with your breath and tap into your parasympathetic nervous system, your calming nervous system. You don't want to be in fight, flight, freeze mode, right? So we'll take a few deep inhales through the nose and exhales through the mouth. You don't have to have your eyes closed. I tend to close my eyes because it helps me center. You definitely don't have to. And I apologize if you hear Lulu crying. She's wanting New Year's Eve cuddles and attention. I know, baby. We'll have it soon. So the next thing that you want to do is you'll be standing. I'm seated right now, but you would be standing and really feeling if you think of a tripod in the bottom of your foot, feeling the three corners of that tripod rooted into the ground, right? And so you're standing into your feet, you've done some breathing, and then what you want to do is you want to say what it is you're questioning in an affirmative statement and see what your body does. Your body will respond to the energetics of what you're saying. And if your body is in alignment with what you're saying, if it's a yes, it will lean forward. If it's a no, it will lean backward. So, for example, I'm going to say something that's not anything it's not anything important. It's just to show you what this is about. So I could say, today is Friday. I don't know if that was visible on camera, but my body shifted back just a little bit because it's not Friday, it's Wednesday. So I'll say, today is New Year's Day. And I could feel my body lean forward just a smidge, right? If I was standing, I would be able to feel it more. But you can do that. Let's say you're at the grocery store and you're looking at the ingredients in something and you're not sure if one of the ingredients is going to cause inflammation or any sort of negative processing in your body. You can muscle test your energetics in this way. So for me, I know that yeast, tomatoes, and balsamic vinegar I've got to stay away from, and some mushrooms. So I would, if I'm looking at the grocery store item, let's say it has some nutritional yeast in it and I see it, I'm questioning, do I really need to stay away from yeast today? Let's just say that I need to question it, right? I'm standing in the grocery store. I've done a little bit of breathing. I'm rooted in my feet. I don't care what anyone around me thinks. And I say, the nutritional yeast in this product will inflame me. And if I lean forward, that's a yes. I don't buy the product, right? So you can check in with your energy in that sense. Same thing if you're wanting to go somewhere or be around someone. You can check in with the energetics of your body, your own energy signature. Another way that you can do this is through using a pendulum. I use both when I'm reading for someone else. Let's say someone comes to me and they're asking, they want some clarity, and they're not comfortable muscle testing themselves. I will use pendulum and check in with their energy. I've also definitely used pendulum to read for myself. I don't tend to do that anymore because, and this is just my personal experience, it seems to me that because the pendulum is outside of myself, it picks up on more energy signature than my own. And so sometimes there are other people around, other energetic beings around, other interdimensional beings around whose energy signatures could be affecting the pendulum. And it's the same thing with reading tarot for yourself. I don't recommend doing it because what you're wanting to read in can absolutely affect the message that's being received. It's a lot easier to do like the pendulum or tarot for someone else. It's a lot clearer. But the muscle testing is something you can do for yourself. If you are curious about how to use the pendulum, I know what yes is for me and what no is for me, but just to show you, I'll ask it. Show me yes. Stop. Thank you. And notice I'm not moving my fingers at all. It's the energetics that's moving the pendulum. Show me no. Thank you. Stop. Am I clear? Thank you. Stop. Are there only good spirits here? Thank you. Stop. Is it time for me to make chicken for the cats today? That's a yes, which it is. So that's how you would use the pendulum. I check in to see what direction we're working with, what's yes, what's no. Make sure we clear, make sure the environment around me is clear. And then I'll ask the question, or I'll say it in an affirmative sentence. So those are some simple, practical ways of checking in with your own energy if you need something visceral to help you start hearing your intuition more, to help you start feeling your own frequency a little bit more, these are some really useful tools that I used and sometimes still use to kind of cut through the noise and hear what is actually being spoken through my body and my nervous system, my energy system. So I hope that was helpful for you. I'm keeping this episode a bit shorter today because it is New Year's and I do want to get cozy and cuddle. And I am so blessed to be able to have this relationship with you all, to have this opportunity to share with you the tools that have worked for me in this exploration of my own sovereignty and how to live a life that feels like summer camp and how to fully feel that and express that in my body. So thank you for being part of this relationship. Thank you for listening and for asking amazing questions and for inspiring me to continue to create. And may 2025 be beyond anything that you can imagine right now. And it's going to be a disruptive year. 2025 is scheduled to be a disruptive year. And I pray that it is disruptive in the best ways, that the things that no longer serve you are completely crumbled away so that the things that you are meant for and that are meant for you like come to life in the most beautiful way possible. Happy New Year, familia. Feliz Año Nuevo. And we'll be back next week. Queridas, we made it to one of my favorite parts of each episode, the moment of flow. I love poetry. I love words and rhythm and how when you mix the two, you get into a beautiful state of flow. And so I want to leave you with that at the end of each episode. So here it is, your moment of flow. Feel into it. What's being asked of you? What's the energy of the room? What energy are you bringing to the room? Feel into it. How can you tell that it's real? Rub those hands together. Feel the friction. Feel the heat. Pull them apart. What do you sense in between? In between, in the liminal, there is something. There's heat. There's something palpable in between your hands. It's energy, your energy. So when you are unsure of which path to take, check in with your body, with your energy. Do a quick hand rub and notice where you're led. Feel into it. Your truest energy is with you all the time. Feel into it.